Appointment of directors by proportional representation, single transferable vote, system of cumulative voting. Have you read these terms many times and still lacking clarity? Don't worry, your quest for clarity will end in today's session. Hey everyone, namaste and welcome. This is your CSR, CS Rajesh with a new video. In this video, we will discuss section number 163 of the Companies Act 2013. Section number 163 of Companies Act 2013 deals with appointment of directors by proportional representation. Section number 163 is not a mandatory provision. It means it is applicable only when company decides to adopt it by including a provision in the Articles of Association. So when a company adopt the system of appointment of directors by proportional representation, any directors appointed will hold the office for a term of 3 years. And if there is any intermittent vacancy in their position, that will be filled by the board of directors by passing a board resolution. Sir, why do we have two systems, sir? We have ordinary system, then we have system of proportional representation. To understand the benefit of appointment of directors by proportional representation, let us briefly discuss how the appointment of directors are done under the ordinary method. Under the ordinary method, the directors are appointed by the members in the general meeting by passing an ordinary resolution. Now, what is ordinary resolution? It is a resolution where the due notice is given to all the members and the number of votes cast in favor of the resolutions are more than the number of votes cast against the resolution. That is considered as ordinary resolution. In simple terms, the number of votes required to pass the resolution, if it is more than 50%, it is considered as ordinary resolution. So what is the disadvantage of this? To understand the disadvantage or the drawback of this system, let us take an example. What is the example? Let's say there is a company. What is the company name? XYZ, a private limited. XYZ, a private limited. In this XYZ private limited, there are 4 members. How many members? 4 members. Who are the 4 members? Let's say we have Anushka. Okay, then we have Deepika, then we have Rashmika, then we have Mr. CSI. So 3 women members and 1 male member, women empowerment. So in this company, Anushka is holding 60% of voting rights. Deepika is holding 20% of voting rights. Rashmika is holding 10% and Mr. CSR is holding 10%. It means Rashmika and CSR what? Minority shareholders. Minority shareholders because they are holding only 10%. And Anushka is called as what? Majority shareholder because she is holding how much shares? She is holding 60% of the voting rights. So this company XYZ Private Limited wants to appoint directors to fill 2 vacancies. There is a 2 vacancy in what? In the position of board of directors. So a meeting is called. What is called? A meeting is called. Now CSR and Rashmika thinks Mr. X is the rightful candidate because he has the relevant expertise in the business. But Anushka has a different plan. She want to bring in, who want to bring in? Anushka want to bring in whom? She want to bring in Virat and Omika as directors of the company who doesn't have relevant expertise. So resolution is proposed in the meeting for appointment of Virat as director of the company. Here CSR and Rashmika are shouting. They are saying, no, we don't want Virat, we want Mr. X. But nobody is hearing to their shout because they have only how many voting percentage? They have only 20% of voting percentage. Resolution is proposed. Resolution requires what? More than 50%. Anushka casted all her votes in favor of whom? Appointment of Virat. Virat gets elected. Again, one more resolution is passed. Appointment of Omika as director of the company. Again, Anushka cast all her vote in favor of Omika. That is 60%. Omika gets elected. So CSR and Rashmika got disappointed. And there is no representation from their side in the board. To overcome this disadvantage where the majority shareholders plays a pivotal role in the appointment of directors, there is a system called as appointment of directors by proportional representation, which is designed in such a way that there will be a proportional representation from both majority shareholders as well as minority shareholders, and all the votes will be taken into consideration for the purpose of deciding the election of a candidate. Okay, under the system of appointment of directors by proportional representation, there are two methods. How many methods? There are two methods of proportional representation. The first one is single transferable vote. Single transferable vote. The name itself indicates single, but it is transferable. So every member gets only one vote irrespective of his number of shares held by him. Let's say a person is holding 1 lakh shares, he gets only one voting rights. Let's say a person is holding 1 share, he also gets only one voting right. But this vote is transferable according to their second preference in two scenarios. The first scenario is the person to whom they are given this vote gets excessive vote than required. Means iska jarurat hi nahi hai, you don't need that vote. Then it will be transferred to whom? The remaining candidate as per their second preference. And one more scenario where it is transferred is in case of if the vote is casted to a candidate who gets eliminated because he has secured least number of votes. There is no chance that he will get elected. Then he will be eliminated, and whatever the vote casted to the eliminated candidate will not be wasted. They will be transferred to whom? To the remaining candidates as per the second preference of the voters. So to understand this, let us take a lame example. With the help of the lame example, we will try to understand how this transfer of voting is done. Let's say Mr. CSR. Mr. CSR, he has only one heart. So let's say this is like voting right. So irrespective of shares he is holding, he has only one voting rights. And for this heart, let's say there are 4 candidates. Who are the candidates? Let's say we have Anushka, we have Deepika, we have Rashmika, and we have Aliya. There are 4 candidates, but I have only one heart. To whom I can give this heart? I can give it to any one of these. Let's say I give this heart to Anushka as a first preference. I say give this to Anushka. But what if Anushka is already having so many hearts with her? She don't need my heart. There is no value for my heart for her because she already have so many hearts with her. Then I say if Anushka doesn't require my heart, then give it to whom? Give it to somebody else. Who is that somebody else? Give it to Deepika. That is my second preference. Now what if even Deepika doesn't need my heart because she's already having so many hearts with her? Then I say give it to Aliya. If she also doesn't require it, give it to whom? Give it to Rashmika. This is the order of preference, which is transferable. And one more scenario where it is transfer is, let's say I give it to Aliya, but Aliya, there is no chance that she'll get elected. Iska jarurat hi nahi hai. Means she doesn't require this heart because she is having least number of hearts. In that scenario, it will be transferred. Let's say I had given second preference to Anushka. Now it goes to whom? She will gets eliminated. The heart goes to the Anushka. So this is how the votes are transferred from one candidate to another candidate in the different scenarios. That is why it is called as what? Single transferable vote. There will be one vote, but that vote is transferable according to what? According to the preference. Let us understand this concept of single transferable vote in detail with the help of an example. What is the example? We have a company called CSR Lotus Lottery Limited. What? CSR Lotus Lottery Limited. And this is the single transferable vote system, is one of the most famous method of proposed representation which is adopted in ICSI election, ICAI election, even Rajya Sabha elections. So let us take an example. What is the example? CSR Lotus Lottery Limited. Lotus Lottery. Lotus in Kannada it is Kamala. So Lotus Lottery Limited. So in this company there are how many members? There are 100 members. 100 shareholders or 100 members. And number of vacancies we have 4 vacancies to be filled in the board. For these 4 vacancies, there are how many candidates? There are 6 candidates. Who are those 6 candidates? We have Modi ji 1, Shah 2, Sitaraman 3, Kejri 4, Priyanka 5 and Rahul 6. So these are the candidates. A caution, all the characters in these examples are fictitious in nature and they do not depict any real character and there is no intention to hurt anyone's political sentiments. Okay, it's just an example. So there are 100 members, 4 vacancies, 6 candidates. How the election will be done under the single transferable vote system. Step number 1. The step number 1 is calculation of quota. Now what is quota, sir? Quota is nothing but the minimum vote required by the candidate to get elected to the post is called as quota. Minimum vote required. How to calculate this quota, sir? There is a formula for calculation of quota. We have to take into consideration the valid number of votes casted. So valid number of votes divided by the number of vacancies plus 1, to the result you should add 1. That is the formula for calculation of quota. So let's consider all the 100 votes casted by the members are valid votes. We will divide this by what? Number of vacancies. We have how many vacancies? 4 vacancies. We have the 4 vacancies plus 1, that is 5. So 100 by 5, it's 20. To that we will add what? 1. So 21 is the quota required to get elected. So out of these 6 candidates, whoever gets 21 votes, he will get elected to that particular post. So once the quota is decided, step number 2 is what? Distribution of ballot papers. The election officer will distribute the ballot papers to whom? To all the members. We have how many members? 100 members. The ballot papers looks like this. There will be a serial number because we have 6 candidates. Candidate's name. There will be a column for order of preference where you can mark your preference in the order. You can say 1, 2, 4 or 3. So I am preferring Modi ji as my first preference. If Modi ji doesn't require my vote or if he gets eliminated, then I transfer it to whom? Transfer it to Shah. If Shah does not require my vote, transfer it to whom? Sitaraman. If she also doesn't require my vote, then transfer it to whom? Sorry, third preference is Kejri, then fourth preference is whom? Sitaraman. So like this, all the candidates can mark their order of preference. Is it mandatory that a voter should mark his preference? No. There can be a situation where a voter wants to give only first preference. He may not prefer to give second preference. Is it valid? Yes, it is valid. But if you give a second preference, your vote will not be wasted if the candidate to whom you casted the vote does not require it. It will be transferred to somebody else. You give a heart to Anushka. If she doesn't require, if you don't have a second preference, it will be wasted. It is a waste. But if you are given the second preference, it will not be wasted. It is transferred to whom? The second preference candidate. That is the advantage of marking the preferences. Okay. So now all the 100 candidates will cast their vote. Once the voting is done, we will collect their ballot papers and these ballot papers will be segregated and kept in a separate boxes of the candidates. So let's say we will keep 6 baskets of Modi ji, then Shah, Sitaraman, Kejri, Priyanka and Rahul. And all these 100 ballot papers will be segregated based upon what? First preference. Mr. CSR, he casted his first preference to whom? Modi ji, it goes to Modi ji basket. Then somebody has given first preference to Rahul, it goes to Rahul basket. Then somebody has preferred Sitaraman, that goes to Sitaraman's basket. So after this classification, we are assuming that after classification, the step number 2, counting of first preference will happen. So as per the first preference of the voters, Modi ji got 36 first preference vote out of 100 people. 36 has given the first preference to whom? Modi ji. Then Shah got 18 first preference vote. Sitaraman got 15 first preference vote. Kejri got 13 first preference vote. And Priyanka got 12 first preference vote. And Rahul got 6 first preference vote. So in the first round of counting, Mr. Modi ji got elected. Why? Because he got how many votes? 36 votes. And what is the quota required? Only 21. He got excess vote. How many excess vote he got? 15. Will it be wasted? No. That is the beauty of single transferable vote. If the voters have marked their second preference, then that remaining 15 votes will be distributed to whom? The remaining candidate as per the second preference. That is why it is called as single transferable vote. So in the first round, who got elected? Modi ji. Congratulations Modi ji, you got elected. Now after the first round of counting, whatever the surplus we got, what is the surplus we got? 15 surplus vote we got. These surplus votes will be transferred to whom? Remaining candidate as per what? As per the second preference. Okay, but which 15 votes we will transfer? There are 36 candidates, 36 voters who had given the vote. Out of 36, only 30 gave first preference, but we have only 15 votes to distribute. Which 15 votes we will select? Will we select randomly? No, because if you select randomly, that will be a what? Disadvantage to the candidates. So what we do? We distribute these 15 votes in a proportionate basis. What basis? Proportionate basis. So 15 by 30. So 15 by 30, what we got? We got 50%. So if 6 people has given second preference, we will transfer only 50% of it. Means 3 votes. So in the second round, people have preferred Shah as their second preference, Sitaraman as second preference, Kejri as second preference. There is no second preference to Rahul and Priyanka, so their name is not considered. So in the second round of counting, we will take into consideration original vote. Shah got 18 original votes, Sitaraman got 15, Kejri got 13. And people who casted their vote to Modi ji, they had given the second preference to whom? Shah. 6 people had given second preference to Shah, 10 had given second preference to Sitaraman, and 14 had given second preference to Kejri. But we have only 15 votes to distribute, excessive vote. Now what we will do? 50% of 6, 3 votes are given to Shah, Sitaraman gets 5 votes and Kejri gets 7 votes. By this way, 15 excess votes of Modi ji is transferred to the remaining candidates. They will not be wasted. So in the second round of counting, along with the surplus of Modi ji, who gets elected? Mr. Shah gets elected because he got 21 votes. Congratulations Mr. Shah. So we filled 2 vacancies. How many vacancies left? Only 2 vacancies left, and we have still 4 candidates. Next, third round will start. In the third round, because already the surplus votes are distributed, elimination round will start. What is this elimination round, sir? In the elimination round, we will take into consideration remaining candidates. Who are the remaining candidates? We have Modi ji, who got already elected. Shah got already elected. We are left with Sitaraman, who got 20 votes, Kejri 20 votes, Priyanka 12 votes, Rahul 6 votes. If you take into consideration the remaining candidates, that is Sitaraman, Kejri, Priyanka, Rahul, 4 candidates, who got least number of votes? Who got least number of votes here? Rahul got least number of votes. He got only 6 votes. Is there any chance that he will get elected? No. Chance nahi hai iska, or the chance hai illa. In this scenario, what we will do? We will eliminate Rahul. We will send him to home. We will say, ab se nahi ho payega. Ninatra agallappa. Mane gogu. We will send him home. So, what about the people who casted vote to Rahul sir? Will it be wasted? He has 6 votes. Will it be wasted? No. Those 6 votes will be transferred to the remaining candidate, that is Sitaraman, Kejri and Priyanka, as per the second preference of whom? The voters who casted vote to Mr. Rahul. Okay. So let's assume the people who got casted their vote to Rahul, they gave a second preference. What is the second preference? Out of out of 6 votes, let's say 1 is given to Sitaraman, 4 people have preferred, not 5, 4 people have preferred Kejri, and 1 person has preferred whom? Priyanka. So that Rahul votes will be transferred to the remaining candidates. In this round, what will happen? Sitaraman already has 20 votes, 20 plus 1 vote of Rahul, she gets 21, gets elected. Congratulations Sitaraman ji. Then we have Kejri, who got 20 votes plus 4 votes. So he gets 24, he also gets elected. Congratulations, Kejri. And Priyanka, there is no chance that she'll get elected because we already filled how many vacancies? 4 vacancies were there, 4 vacancies are filled. So first one, Modi ji, second round, Shah, and in the last round, who gets elected? Sitaraman and Kejri gets elected. So there is somebody from opposition here. Who is the somebody? Kejri. That is how this single transferable vote works. It goes in round system. It is called as transferable. Why? Because the votes are transferable according to what? Second preference of the voters. That is why it is one of the most famous method. That is why it is adopted in ICSI elections, ICAI elections, ICMA elections. So once you become a member of ICSI or ICAI, when the election happens, this is how you vote. And this is how the voting happens for what? Rajya Sabha election also. Single transferable vote. Then we have a second system or second method of voting under the proportional representation, that is system of cumulative voting. What is cumulate? Accumulate. So here the number of shares of the voters will be multiplied with the number of vacancies, and the person will get such number of votes which he can cast in favor of any one candidate, or he can distribute among the candidates. That is why it is called as system of cumulative voting. And whoever gets the majority in the order, they will get elected. Okay, let us understand this with the help of an example. Each shareholder is entitled to 1 vote per share multiplied by number of directors to be elected. Each shareholder can place all his votes towards one candidate or multiple candidates. Candidates who gets more votes, he gets elected. Example, there is a shareholding pattern of a company. What is the shareholding pattern? Mr. X is holding 50,000 shares, Y is holding 20,000 shares, Z is holding 10,000 shares, A is holding 2,000 shares, and B is holding 8,000 shares. Number of vacancies we have, 4 vacancies we have. How many candidates? 6 candidates. Who are they? P, Q, R, S, T, U. Voting rights of the shareholders, Mr. X, 50,000 into 4. As I said, number of shares multiplied by number of vacancies. We have 4 vacancies. So he gets 2 lakh voting rights, Y gets 80,000 voting rights, Z gets 40,000 voting rights, A gets 8,000 voting rights, and Mr. B gets 32,000 voting rights. And these voting rights will be distributed according to the voter's choice. So let us take an example where Mr. X has given his 2 lakh votes. Out of 2 lakh votes, 1 lakh for Mr. P, 1 lakh votes for Mr. Q. He is dividing his votes to the 2 different candidates. And these P and Q are supported by majority shareholders. And the remaining candidate, that is R, S, T, U, are supported by the minority shareholders. That is Mr. Z, Mr. A and Mr. B. Y is giving his 50,000 votes to Mr. P, 30 to Mr. Q. Z is giving all his votes to whom? Mr. R. A is giving his 8,000 votes to whom? To Mr. T. And Mr. B is giving his 20,000 votes to Mr. T, and 10,000 votes to Mr. S, and 2,000 votes to Mr. U. So after this, what will happen? Counting will happen. Mr. X secured how many votes? 1 lakh of X, 50 of Y. So he got 1 lakh 50 in total. Mr. Y got 1 lakh 30, 1 lakh of Mr. X votes, 30 of Mr. Y. Z got 40, A got 10, B got 20, and S got 10, T got 20, and U got 2,000 votes. After this, ranking will be given. Mr. P got first rank because he got 1 lakh 50 votes, he gets elected. Q got 1 lakh 30 votes, second rank, he gets elected. R got 40,000 votes, he gets third rank, he gets elected. And Mr. T got 20,000 votes, he got a 4th ranking, he gets elected, and all the 4 vacancies are filled. So here we have somebody from minority shareholders. Who are they? Mr. R and Mr. T. So it means there is a proportional representation. This is how what happens. This is how the cumulative voting system works. And these are the 2 methods which are adopted under the system of appointment of directors by proportional representation. It is left to the companies. The company may decide whether they can go for single transferable vote or system of cumulative voting. But the famous method of voting is single transferable vote. As I said, this is adopted in ICSI election, ICAI election, even in Rajya Sabha elections. And even for the appointment of President of India, a single transferable vote system is adopted. I hope you guys learned something new in this today's session, and I hope you guys got conceptual clarity with respect to the terms of single transferable vote, system of cumulative voting, and also appointment of directors by proportional representation. Thank you very much. See you guys in the next video. Until then, keep learning law. Dhanyavad.